Hello, my name is Shadley, and welcome back for another episode of Colombian Space Initiative and in Supreme World Ultimate. And in previous episodes we started building even, or producing even more consumer goods, and that increased our economy quite a bit. We are now building the industrial goods factory over here, but the reason why I brought you in is because the Dutch and the Germans are at war right now. So that's... pardon me. It's going to be probably the end of the Dutch right now. I can't really do much about that, unfortunately. I mean, I suppose what I could do is... Actually... You're still buying industrial goods. Not a lot right now, but yeah, sure can sell you a little bit. Let's have a look at the French. How are you doing in terms of military goods? You've got pretty good demand, you have basically nothing in there. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to sell you 1,000 tons. I'm going to ask you 30 million. So this is the arms deals that really matter. Not to mention they got 7 billion in bank account there, so it's or cash reserves, so it should be alright. I actually wonder, could I... The British do have a lot of money. How about we sell a little bit of military goods for them as well? We'll still be accumulating a little bit, but that's alright. 32 million out of that, good. It's just to keep them fighting the Germans, because I don't want to have a massive Germany that controls all of Eurasia in here. I'm trying to get to the moon, or actually the Mars technically. Alright, so we got the industrial goods factory there, so that's going to increase our income quite a bit now again. And not to mention, we should be getting a lot more, well, yeah, a little bit there. Or stockpile again. Unemployment is down to 3.4%, which is not great to be fair. But I'm sure that that will increase. I mean, the increase in population is now about 200,000 per year. Actually, it's even speeding up now. Okay. Immigration is massive. It's almost catching up with the births that happen yearly. But not quite. Not quite. And neither one of those two covers both the deaths and the emigration, so that's good. The population, we should be hitting... within 2 years we'll be hitting 7 million in population, and then we'll probably be hitting 8 million around 1938 or 1939, somewhere around there. Depend if it starts to speed up even further or not. We've got a decent bit of cash right now, even with that. Now, of course, we don't have a lot of industrial goods in the stockpile right now, because some, like Brazil and Peru, will probably be buying more and more from us. So let's have a look at the technologies in here. Pace particle acceleration is not something that we can afford. And a synthetic fuel might be something that we could take. Because, how much? 190, okay, we'll get that soon enough. And then we'll buy that, just so that we can then start unlocking some of the synthetic stuff. One that we are particularly interested in is at least some point getting the synthetic rubber production. Not that we need it right now, we can still buy our rubber from UK for a fairly good price. So I'm not worried about that. Although the market price is pretty good over there. And I believe UK likes us a decent bit. The French are a bit neutral. Not too bad situation over there. We don't actually like the French. But it is the French, after all. Right, so they're at least holding Paris right now. Not entirely sure how much my support actually helped them, or the supplies helped them, but maybe a little bit. Like maybe not. Ooh. Oh wow, the Germans have almost gotten to Moscow, but they've been cut out over there, so they might be destroyed. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure about that, though. The Russians have taken back a little bit around here, I think, because I'm pretty sure that they didn't hold that area. They did hold this area, but not that one. We'll see how well they can retake the lands in here. Right, so UK still has 50 million... Actually, let's have a look. Is there anything else that UK might require in terms of resources? Industrial goods, maybe. Well, they've got a pretty good stockpile there, so it's not that bad of a deal. The production of consumer goods compared to their demand is not a mess. Electricity, they're doing fine. Metal ore, they're doing more than enough. Coal, they're doing more than enough. Petroleum, they might have a bit of a problem. They can still buy them from international markets, most likely. But let's say if we were to sell a 500,000 barrels, how much could we get from that? 22 million. I'll take it. It's going to get us enough money to buy the early synthetic fuel. So if we clear the offer and just get the best offer now, it's still the same. But it's worth checking every now and then if you can get better deals or not. There we go, so we've got the early synthetic fuels. I'm actually wondering, can I sell it to, for example, Venezuela now? We've got the basic electronics. Be willing to pay 148 million for that. It's not a lot, but it's a chunk of money at least. Oh wow, you have 400 million. Let's have a look. Can we get 42 million? Okay, it's not great, but it is some cash. What about Brazil? Okay, you got everything that I know. What about China? I reckon that, yeah, you got everything. Let's see. Ottomans? You got everything. Pretty sure. Let's have a look at Portugal. Portugal might be interested in that. 42 million out of there. So we can now probably buy something from United States again. Aircraft gunnery might be a good idea. Let's get the monoplane construction. I'm sure that we can afford that now. There we go. So let's have a look. Can we sell that? First of all, Ecuador, you still have... Oh, actually, we can't sell anything to you. You probably don't have the industrialization yet. We can sell the molecular biology to Peru now. We've got a decent bit of money. I'm not entirely sure what they're doing to get their money. Probably taxing a lot, to be fair. Let's actually have a look. How much? It doesn't tell about the taxation there. They don't have a massive unemployment, but one thing that I should post, I could try to offer. We already got the free trade and free flow of labor. Alright then. Let's get the criminal extradition. Just to get another deal with them to increase relations. They are paying fairly well for our supplies. That's good. Good materials is still going to take a while, but now we've got on a decent bit of economy. We now can afford, or we're making a decent bit of money by selling the technologies for various nations. Basic electronics, how much? 200 million from you. Yeah, I'll take that. I will certainly take that. What about Mexico? Basic electronics, 200 million. Ooh. Okay, what about Norway? What do you have? Nope, you got everything that I do. What about Spain? Nope. So there's a fairly limited amount of nations that I can sell the technologies. What about Cuba? You got 170 million. I could probably sell you a few things here. Well, 60 million out of that. It's not great. But we've got now 500 million. So what should we buy from United States now? We got the military aviation, which actually is very cheap. So I'll buy that. And maybe the submarines or artillery bore improvements. 166 million for that. Now let's have a look. Venezuela, what do you want? Oh, well, there's actually a lot of things that we can sell to you. How much do you have money? 400 million? It's only going to give us 46 million. What about Chile? You've got 200 million, so you probably don't want a lot. I wonder, does Austria-Hungary? Nope. They got much better tech than I do. I mean, not that I'm surprised in all fairness. UK still owns Ireland, so we can't sell anything to them. There's Greece. What do you want? I could give you some of those. You don't have a massive amount of money, but 56 million, I'll take it. Right, so now that we can certainly say that our money situation is no longer a problem, I think we don't have the industrial goods quite yet, but we'll save a little bit more money and we'll start building another research center now. Because that improved our situation quite dramatically, quite frankly. Still a few techs over here that I suppose we'll buy another tech or two. Let's see. Combat aircraft, or anti-aircraft gunnery, and marine steam turbine. 244 million for that. And then can we sell... Ooh, actually we got a lot of things that Mexico might be interested in. 76 million out of that. Not great, not terrible. Still got the quantum physics and radio transmissions. How much can we get from that? 44 million. Peru is wanting to buy more industrial goods. That's fine by me. So we got 400 million. How much does it cost to produce one of these? We might actually afford it. It's going to take a long while to build. Well, we don't have the industrial goods yet, so we'll let that accumulate a little bit. We'll get a bit more unemployment going on in the meanwhile, because I believe it does take a lot of workers in there. Let's have a look. So we got... I suppose we could lower this a little bit, so we can start selling consumer goods directly, for example, to the British, because they have massive cash reserves. Another place that actually... The United States does import a lot of consumer goods as well. Interesting. They have a lot more demand than what can be met right now. But yeah, we are certainly improving our revenue quite a bit this year. Or the past year. Right, so how quickly are we accumulating over here? It's going up by about 170 per day? 180 by the looks of it. But yeah, it's going up at a decent speed, so once we reach about 30,000 we can start building the research facility over there. It's going to take a lot of money and time and effort. Once we get that there, we can start researching quicker, and our knowledge index is now ranked 24. Of course, we have been selling a lot of techs and still don't have some of the techs that we require. But improved materials is now 2.6 years away. We get the improved military logistics, that would increase the infrastructure rating quite nicely. There's currently no tech that we can't buy. So there is that. Let's actually have a look. Is there still something that we could buy for a cheap price? Jet engine theories might be okay. Industrialized military vessels or airless submarine. I think I'm going to try the jet engine theories. 130 million. I think we can afford that, yeah. I believe... Ooh, the industrial goods availability is poor. But that's why everyone wants to buy them from me. I'm going to start selling another 10% on the global market, because there is a $1,000 markup or profit per ton when you factor in the construction cost. But we do need to accumulate a little bit. Once we reach 30,000 tons, then yeah, we can start building the research facility, or research center, I believe is the correct term here. Well, I suppose you're not needed in that city anymore, so you can go to the capital, and you can start building a research facility over there. We don't... Actually, we'll probably build an airbase over here, with aircraft production at some point. And UK certainly likes us. How is our... Okay, we got 15,000 tons of rubber still, so that's enough for over 200 days. We may need to buy more... Well, actually, I'm going to buy more now before I forget, rather than anything else. Rubber, you got over 200,000. Buy 40,000 tons. Pay 18 million for that. That's actually not a bad price. Oh, well, there goes the Netherlands. That was to be expected, quite frankly. It is unfortunate, but there's not much that can be done about that. And the Germans can now probably... Well, no doubt they had to use a decent bit of troops to capture all of that. I actually wonder, how many research facilities do they have? I can't see it anywhere, I don't think. They got a pretty high population, 124 million. French have only 42 million, and, well, the British have 80 million, so it's... Wait a minute, how do the British do have that high population? I mean, I suppose they do have a really high population, but I don't think that's necessarily quite accurate. On the other hand, as soon as you start the game, it starts to go off the rails anyway, so... I'm pretty sure that Colombia didn't have closest to 7 million at this point in time. Or maybe it did. I'm not an expert in history of Colombia. Right, but we did earn a fair bit of cash here. We still... Oh, we actually do have the industrial goods more or less to start building the research center. 31,000, yeah, we'll start building that there. It's going to be bloody expensive. At least that is what I expect to happen. Do Venezuelans, they got 300 million. Let's have a look at the technologies. Radio guidance system, how much would you pay for that? 22 million, okay, I'll take it. Actually not losing money and still building that. That's rather handy. Right, it's going to take still close to a year to be built. Or about... actually, about 7 months, I think. Somewhere around there. But then we can start researching a bit more. And in the meanwhile, I suppose I could try buying more technology from the United States. So we'll get the... Get the early aircraft engines. 112 million, not really a problem. I don't remember... Hold on, if we get this... Yeah, there's probably a lot in here that we need. For example, the magnetic tapes, that increases quality control standards. Of course, needs the modern microscopes. And for that, we need the improved materials as well. Alright then. Alright, improved vacuum tubes does unlock some of the things in technology here. But yeah, how well are we doing in terms of the race for the bomb? Okay, so the Germans are about third of the way there. For some reason, Great Britain is pretty much fully there already. Not entirely sure why, how, or when, but apparently that happened. Yeah, still got 200 million. Is there anything else that I could get? Air-cooled radial engine. Okay, not probably that one. And the submarines we could probably buy now. You know what? Yeah, we'll buy that. 192 million. That's not too bad. How is our unemployment doing right now? 3.7%. Okay. Inflation is still 7.8%, which is a bit high to be fair. Not gonna deny that, but yeah, we are getting that, I suppose. Oh, we are actually still gaining industrial goods despite building a lot. Now, of course, we're not selling a lot to the global markets right now, so that kind of lowers the money that we'll be getting. Frankly, we might want to increase the industrial goods production even further at some point. But right now, I think it's more important for us to start getting some of the... lowering the expenditures. So building another coal power plant would not be a bad idea. Of course, we don't... Oh, right, yeah, we got this one, but that's going to be more expensive. So I'm going to send you back over there and build another coal power plant after a little bit. You should take that route there. Or you're just going to go direct... Okay. Trying to take the shortest route, I suppose. Not that they need to be there yesterday anyway, so... How's the war going again? Not much is happening there. Verdun is still holding. Germans are again approaching Moscow. Soviets have not managed to take much in here. I wonder, does Soviet Union or Soviet Russia have a lot of money? They do. How about we sell them some military goods again? We'll sell about 500 tons. Request 16 million. You want to buy industrial goods? Sure. Right, so we should be getting a decent bit of cash from the Soviets. There we go, now back to 90 million. So that should be rather handy. I actually wonder, does Australia have all the techs that we do? No, they don't. They do have a little bit of money. 80 million from there. What about New Zealand? You probably could use some technologies as well. You don't have a lot of money though, so there's a small problem over there. What about Japan? You got all the techs that I do. So, I suppose that does make sense. Oh, actually, Bolivia. Okay, you got very little money. Peru has a decent bit. Argentina. You probably want some of this. Okay, another 90 million from there. Brazil. Nope, I got nothing that interested you. What about Mexico? Nope. I'm guessing Canada is a bit of a similar situation. Yeah, they got everything that I have. Alright, well, at least we got a lot of cash out of some of the nations again. Very limited, actually. Oh, Ottoman, right. It's Ottoman Empire. They might want the early submarine. Oh, they don't want to pay for the early submarines. Alright then. Emirate Ashmar doesn't have anything. British Kuwait is about Iran. Would you like to buy some technologies? Basic electronics, for example. 56 million, I'll take that. We did pay quite a bit more for the basic electronics, but at the same time, it is important technology, so people are willing to pay a decent chunk of money. Right, how far are we in getting the research center? Still quite a bit. Quite a bit indeed. Now, do we have the industrial goods? Well, I've still got 30,000 tons. Selling a little bit, so I'm kind of tempted to not start building anything quite yet. Once we are about halfway done with the research center, then I suppose we might have enough goods to start building. How is our unemployment right now? Because it's the 3.6%, so it has gone down a little bit. GDP per capita is $720 right now. It has grown quite significantly in the past 17 years. I think we started at like 100 or something like that, but we have industrialized quite a bit. And we are now rank 18 globally. Of course, that does mean that there's some nations that have been higher, that have been destroyed. But at the same time, we have improved our GDP quite significantly. Now, improved materials is still quite far. Actually, wasn't there some... Yeah, East Indies. You probably want some technology, don't you? You can afford paying 28 million. It's better than nothing. Is there anything else here? No, that's the East Indies. Pretty sure that there's not really anyone else that I can sell to. Siam, maybe. Early manufacturing. How much? No, you don't want to pay anything for that. Okay. Be willing to pay 28 million for that. Okay, well, I'll take it. And I believe Tibet was fighting a war against China at some point, but they seem to have formed a ceasefire. Or formed a truce, I suppose. Which is a bit interesting, I suppose. Afghanistan has 54 million, that's not enough to pay for anything. Greece? You might want to buy some of these things. 12 million is better than nothing. What about Bulgaria? You got a little bit of money. 2 million. What about now? 84 million. Okay, I'll take that. I'm kind of selling this text for both sides. Actually, Denmark. Radio guidance system, 18 million out of that. I'll take it. So we've got $500 million. Pretty sure that we can afford buying a few more things from the United States now. Maybe even this one. Oh, yes. That's going to save us a lot of time and money. Because we don't need to research that ourselves. So there we go. That should be fairly good over there. We're a bit low on cash right now. And we're not getting a massive amount of cash either. Until we've completed the research center. So we'll probably have to wait a little bit. Although that is actually about halfway done now. Still got 31,000 tons of industrial goods. So I think at this point... we could start affording, or could start building the coal power plant over here. It's not particularly expensive. We'll be able to build that relatively quickly. And of course we will be losing a fair bit of industrial goods here for the time being. Again, that should be done in less than a month. And that is going to increase our electricity production a little bit. It does lower our unemployment as well, which is both good and bad. At the same time, it's going to increase the production cost. On the other hand, it does increase the domestic approval rating to a certain degree, although already got pretty high, 33.4%. That's a bit higher than I expected. Yeah, we got pretty good social ratings over here. I suppose I could increase cultural subsidies a tiny bit. Because that is going to increase the tourism, I believe. Well, it might. It's not guaranteed necessarily, but... it will lower the unemployment a little bit, which is less than optimal. But at the same time, I believe it should be helping a little bit on the population to have cash to buy more things, so domestic market will be expanding with that. Although the daily expenses is rather high, of course, quite a significant chunk of that is construction cost. So there is that. But it would appear that we are once again out of time for this episode, so let's have a quick look at the situation. Still waiting for the improved materials to be built. I think once we get the research center, then I'll be bringing you back again. So, if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.